Hey, let's talk about the Brother Innov-is Disney machine. We're going to review this machine and talk about its sewing technology features. Hi, I'm Kathy, and this is Sewing Tech Talk. This machine is a great machine for us to review because it has a lot of features built in for the price. It's not just a sewing machine, but it's also an embroidery machine. Might be a great machine for those of you who may want to move up, have a machine that will embrace your creative side, so get some embroidery in there. But also it's a super great sewing machine. The sewing machine part of it is worth every penny, but you also get embroidery. So we're going to start out with the sewing features of this machine, but there's a super good feature that we're going to just mention here at the beginning. You can own this machine. This machine is available for you to own. We're going to talk about the sewing features and then the embroidery features. And at the very end, as my thank you to you for watching through my video, I have a fun sewing pattern for a pillow that is my gift to you. So stick with me to the end. Let's talk about the features of this machine, just a few because there's so many, and let's start with sewing. Now, this machine is an electronic machine, and it has to be to do embroidery. It has to be able to read a design and stitch it out. So, but you get some great features in sewing at the same time. So, it has these buttons on the front, and it has a start-stop button, which means you can sew without the foot control. It has automatic tie-off. When you finish your seam, you simply touch that button and it automatically ties off your threads. Needle up and needle down, which means that when you stop sewing, you can have the needle either stay in the fabric or come back up, and that's going to just automatically change the position of that needle whenever you want at the touch of a button. Scissor button. That means that when you finish sewing, you don't have to hunt everywhere for your little scissor clippers. It'll automatically clip the threads for you just at the touch of a button. Now this button is the automatic presser foot lifter button. Now I think I know what you might be saying right now. You're probably saying, Kathy, I've been using this lever back here for years. I don't need a button to do that. Well, that button is a super magic button. Because you have that button on the machine, that means that the machine has a feature called the automatic fabric sensor system. What does that mean to you? That means that it'll automatically adjust for super thick fabrics or super thin fabrics, and you don't have to do anything. So I found this batting. It is super thick. I don't even know where I found it, but it's thicker than any batting I would probably ever use. And that's not stunt batting, that's the real thing. That's really thick. And I have this little thin filmy piece of fabric. I can sew from this onto this and not have to touch a button. It's going to automatically do it for me. Let's see what that looks like. So at the machine, I'm going to put this under the foot. Now it has a presser foot lifter button, but it has also an extra high lift that I can get that under there. And you can see that is a heck of a lot of thickness under that machine. All I have to do is press my foot control, and it's going to sew through it just like butter. Look at that. It's come to the very end. Now, I have my very thin piece of fabric. I'm going to put that under there, and let's just sew onto that. Not a hitch, not a giddy up. It said, sure, give me whatever you want. Maybe you're into cosplay. Maybe you make costumes. Maybe you do crafts. You want to sew with vinyl. 2 pieces of nice little vinyl here. I'm going to sew a seam on those. I'm going to go from the thin fabric to this thickness without even a lick. When I'm done, press the scissor button. Automatically going to cut that. And oh my gosh, look at that. From one to the other, it just doesn't get any better than that, right? You don't have to adjust the machine. The machine's going to adjust for you. So there's some other features on this machine as well that you may not even be used to. This machine can actually sew sideways. And why would you want to sew sideways? So I have made this little sleeve, little pant leg, and I'm going to sew a patch on it. Well, if I wanted to sew a patch on it, how am I going to get around there without manipulating it? So I'm going to go to the free arm by taking this accessory box off. Take that off, put that in the back, and we're going to put our little pant leg sleeve on the machine so that we can sew. Well, we can't sew around it, can we? Because even though it's on the free arm, I can't change it. So let's go over to the screen and let's find those sideways sewing stitches because they're in a special section. So we're going to come over here to the screen and I am going to tell the machine that I want to select directional sewing. And I can go backwards, to the left, to the right, forwards. I can zigzag to the left, zigzag to the right, and I can even zigzag forwards and backwards. I'm going to zigzag over to the left, so I touch that stitch. Notice the machine sets everything up for me. It even shows me the size of that zigzag that's going to be stitching when I stitch it. That's the advantage of an electronic machine. You see it before you stitch it. The machine automatically sets everything up for you. Now you can change those sometimes, but let's see how it sews sideways because that's pretty amazing. So over here, I have the patch on there. Let's take my little pin out. And we're going to press down the foot pedal and we're actually going to sew sideways. I don't know how it does it. It just does. That's pretty cool. Now if I want to sew backwards, I'm just going to pick that backward zigzag stitch to the right, to the left. It's pretty interesting to be able just to go around a patch and not have to turn it. Now, the other cool thing, I'm going to cut this off, it has a ton of decorative stitches in this machine. Because it can sew sideways, some of those stitches are super large. They're the size of stitches that you might use in a quilt. So I'm going to lift up the lid of the machine and we're going to take a look at some of the stitches on here. All kinds of stuff. I have utility stitches. I have buttonholes. There's that directional sewing I just did. Tons of decorative stitches, even alphabets. I happen to know that some of these stitches here are the super big ones. So let me pick, I know that stitch 72 is one of the really big stitches. So I'm going to go down to the screen and I'm going to pick stitch number 72, which is the touch of a button. So let's come on down here. I'm going to touch this. It's going to ask me if I did that on purpose, and of course I did. It's in group number 6, and I'm going to go to stitch number 72. I can go backwards if I have to, which is pretty cool. There's stitch number 72. It's a cute little wave. Now here it says that I need to use foot N. I need to, there's the stitch. Now it's not showing me the actual size because it's so big. It says that it's 25% of the actual size of the machine. If I want to see it in actual size, this machine can show me what that looks like. I touch this little button right here, and it's actually so big it can't even show me the whole stitch on the screen. So that's going to be a fantastic stitch if I want to put it in a quilt, in sashing. It's really cool, and it does it automatically. So I'm going to say OK. And I remember it wanted me to use the in foot. So let me grab some of my feet. I put them in my sassy tote here. And here is some of the just regular feet that it uses. There's the in foot. The machine comes with tons of extra feet as well. It comes with, oh my gosh, free motion foot, an open toe foot. It even comes with a, where is that little guy? It even comes with a Teflon foot if I want to sew on vinyl or something like that. So they have included a lot of great feet in the package of the machine for you. So let's put that in foot on. The feet just clip on and off. So I'll take off that standard foot, put on my in foot. There we go. Now let's sew that really big stitch and see what that looks like. Remember, I just selected the stitch, I put on my foot, I just press my foot pedal, and there it goes. And it's going to sew from side to side. And automatically it's going to give me that really big, gigantic, I think they're 40mm stitches. I have a speed control on the machine as well, but these stitches are going to take a little while. That's okay. It's doing all the work for me, so I'm okay with that. It could go on and on. I'm just going to use my scissors. Let's take that off. And there we go. Look how pretty that is. That is a stitch that I would use on a border of a quilt. It's going to look like I'm the world's best free motion quilter, but the machine did it all for me. That's pretty cool. So if I want a free motion, this machine comes with a free motion foot. Free motions beautifully. It has 8 inches to the right of the needle. So you have good amount of space in there. It's also pretty tall. So if you want a free motion, it comes with the accessories that you need to do that. Let's change over to embroidery and let's explore some of the fun features that this machine has in embroidery mode. Now this is a Brother Disney embroidery machine as well as being a sewing machine. What that means is that because it's Brother's licensed to embroider Disney designs, they're the only sewing machine company that can. This machine has 36 built-in Disney embroidery designs. That's just not just Disney, that's cars, that's all kinds of stuff. Now, it also has 233 designs total. There's tons of designs in there. It's not just Disney. The designs are, some of them are huge because this machine can sew up to a 6 1/4 by over 10-inch hoop. It's a really big design. So these are some of the built-in designs. This is Mickey and Minnie, of course. I'm sure you've met them before. But look how big they are, and look how pretty it embroidered out on the back of my jacket here. So they're really large designs because this machine, one of the great features is it has a large embroidery field. Not all the designs are huge. There's smaller ones, and the machine comes with 2 different embroidery frames. It comes with the big one and it comes with a 5x7. So you can use the frame that's appropriate for the size of the design that you want to stitch. Now, I did Spider-Man here. He's not built into the machine. What you can do is, because this is a Disney embroidery machine, is you can go to a website called iBroidery. And where you go to do that is you register your machine. You get a free design for registering your machine. Other designs are available that'll fit your machine at a pretty nominal cost. It's not that expensive. Pick the designs you want. You may want Star Wars, you want Marvel, all kinds of different designs there. Anything that's under the Disney umbrella. Now remember, this is the only machine that can, this and any other Brother Disney machine is the only machine that's allowed to do that. So pretty big design, pretty big hoop, but what you're maybe asking yourself is, how easy is it to do embroidery? Is it hard? I mean, if you've never done it before, it could seem like some mysterious sewing technology that seems challenging. It's really quite easy. The machine does most of the work. So let's change this machine over, and then you can see how simple it is to get ready to do machine embroidery. Now the machine is still in sewing mode, so we're going to switch it over. I'm going to turn the machine off, and I'm going to put the embroidery arm that comes with the machine. I'm going to slide this on the machine, and when the machine wakes up, it's going to be an embroidery machine. It's going to automatically know that it's going to do embroidery. So I'm going to turn it on. The screen is a color screen. You may not have noticed that much before, but you can see that when we go into embroidery. It's going to automatically calibrate itself each time that you turn the machine on in embroidery. It also has a resumption feature, so if you have to accidentally turn your embroidery off or lose power, it's going to come right back up and you can finish your embroidery. I can't tell you how many times I've used that feature. I get sleepy at night and I go to bed and I wake up in the morning and finish my embroidery. So let's go to the screen and see how simple it is to bring up a design. You can see the designs are in color. These are all different categories of design. So if I go to Disney, maybe I want to do Winnie the Pooh today. So I touch Winnie the Pooh. There is that silly old bear. I touch him. There he is. He's one of the smaller designs. He's 3.5 by a little less than 2 inches. I want to do him, so I go set. Now I can move him around. I can touch the screen and move him around if I want to. I can actually change the color of him if I choose. Now the cool thing is you can also get some get a thread pack of Disney colors. So if you want to stitch Pooh in the authentic color, you can go ahead and get a Disney pack. There's a princess pack. There's all kinds of stuff. I'm going to go to Edit End. Here I can move him just a little bit if I want to, just delicately, and precisely, then when I go to embroidery, it's going to show me the different colors that Winnie the Pooh is going to stitch in. Every embroidery machine stitches one color at a time. Now the cool thing about a color screen is it's going to say that it's color 2, 3, whatever it is in embroidery. But I want to know what color that is without having to look it up in a chart. So a color screen will show me the color. I can take my thread and I can literally match it to that color that's on the screen. So I know this is going to be pretty good. Then you're going to thread the machine. I'm going to take off the sewing thread. And I'm going to change over to one of those embroidery threads I talked about. Embroidery threads are a little bit shinier, and yes, you can get a collection of them to get you started out. And an embroidery spool of thread lasts quite a long time. So let's see how easy this machine is to thread. I'm going to put the thread on the spool. I'm going to follow the numbered path, super simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It threads the same in sewing and embroidery. And I'm going to put the thread up. Got to catch this little guy down here. Oops. There we go. And I'm going to lay it in the slot. There's a cutter on the side. Now, this is going to go super fast, so you better watch. All I do is push this lever down. Boom. Automatically, this machine is threaded. That's how fast and easy it is to thread. It works the same in sewing as well. I'm going to put my thread cap on. Spool cap on. I'm going to pull up my frame. And it's going to fit in the 5x7 frame, which also comes with the machine. I slide my frame on. Put down the lever, lower the foot. Remember, that's my super magic button. And now, all I have to do is press the green means go button, and it's going to embroider my Winnie the Pooh. That's how fast it is to do machine embroidery. Machine embroidery, your creativity is you're limited as your imagination. So this machine's pretty fantastic. It's a great sewing machine, first and foremost. But also, you can add embroidery to whatever you decide. Now, I promised you something. What I did is I put together what I thought was pretty fun, because Disney characters are in movies, and I thought this would be a fun pillow for family movie night. It's like a film strip, and all the different characters are inside. When you get your machine, you're going to want to stitch out a few of these, and this is a great way to use those stitch outs. So the instructions for this are go to the description of the video and click on the link, and it's going to take you, and you can download these instructions. My gift to you, it's for free. And while you're there, why don't you pick up a machine? So the greatest feature of this machine is you can own it. It's available to be shipped out to you, and I think George has a few comments about just about how easy that is to do. So I think George has something to say. He always has something to say. Why don't you take it away, George, and tell people how great this machine is and the super special price.
Thanks, Kathy. That is an amazing machine. The Brother Innov-is NQ3600D is not only an amazing sewing and quilting machine with 291 built-in stitches, and as you showed, there are stitches that are very, very large that sew in all different directions. It even has a basting stitch. I think my favorite feature is the fact that it automatically adjusts to the different fabric height. This way you can sew from heavy to light to even synthetic fabrics with ease. But also the full featured embroidery machine with that large 6x10-inch hoop and Disney designs. It actually has 233 built-in embroidery designs, and 35 of them are Disney. So this incredible machine now is available nationwide. Brother just gave us the authority so we can ship this across the country, and we're not charging for shipping. If you live in Alaska or Hawaii, there'll be a slight charge, but it'll be very reasonable. So right now, this machine is on sale. This machine has a regular retail price of $49.99, and it's worth that. But right now, it's on sale for $34.99, and we have it where we have interest-free payments for $146 a month, interest-free. Remember, we're not charging for shipping, and that's across the country. But wait, there's a bonus. for the first few to purchase this, you will get this exclusive Disney thread collection. This has 24 of the most popular colors that you can use for your built-in Disney designs. This is a $125 value, free as a gift from us. So click on the link to order or call us at 1-800-865-9664. Leave your name, number, and where you live, and I will have the staff member that is most qualified to help you with your sewing needs. Bye for now.